Okay, hi, this is Beck. This is part 2 of our TM6 information session. Welcome back. If you haven't been to the first one or seen the first one, I'm going to just briefly cover some of the things we talked about. So first of all, what do you get when you purchase a Thermomix? So if you purchase a Thermomix from me, you get me as your consultant, but you also get a box with all these things in it. So you get a bowl and blade, the lid, the MC, which is the measuring cup, that sits in the top of your Thermomix and prevents things from splashing out. You get a butterfly, the new spatula, which has a soft tip. This is a really cool spatula. I wasn't a fan of the last ones, but this one's a lot better. You get a basket which sits inside your Thermomix, and you can do things like cook rice or other things so that you can have layered cooking. You get a varoma, which is for steaming, and you also get this splash guard. So this is new. So the splash guard is for TM6 units, and it's used to prevent oil from splashing out of your Thermomix. Because the Thermomix, the TM6, goes to high heat and does caramelization, it can splatter. So this will actually prevent any splatters from coming out of the top of the Thermomix bowl. The basic cookbook, you get this. Now, this is an awesome, valuable resource, and it's worth reading. So take it out of the plastic. All the recipes that are in this cookbook are built into your TM6, but there's more than just recipes in here. So take a look at that. It's really worth checking out. All right, so we talked about the 5 main reasons people purchase a Thermomix. These are the things that I believe: save time, eating healthy, save money, less clutter, and inspiration for cooking at meal times. We talked about the 3 main screens of the TM6. It's a sliding screen like you would on your phone. So Cookie Do, this is the full Cookie Do search function, which is, like I always say, it's more than a recipe platform, but we'll go into that next. Then you've got your manual screen. So this is the same as previous models. So you can actually cook manually if you wish. So it's time, temperature, and speed, and it's really easy to navigate. You just tap the screen, what you want it to do, and use the selector dial to the right of the screen. Then you have your modes screen. Now on the mode screen, you have 19 separate modes to date, and we're going to talk about those a little bit later. All right, so what are the main differences with the TM6? Previous models went to a maximum of 120 degrees, where the TM6 can reach 160 degrees. This is utilised through guided cooking, so you can sear meat, caramelise onions, do sugar work using the TM6, where you couldn't with previous models. The other thing is enhanced guided cooking. So with the TM6, you can do things with modes. So we'll talk about those next, actually. But modes are basically groups of functions that the Thermomix will do for you, so you don't have to stand in front of it and do them all. The TM6 touch screen is significantly larger than a TM5 screen. I know in size, when you look at it in centimetres, it doesn't look that much difference, but the TM5 has a big silver surround around it, where the TM6 doesn't. So it makes it much easier to see and follow recipes and navigate the menus. Okay, so now let's talk about the amazing modes. So these are individual programmed functions. We know some of them because the previous models had them. There's scales, there's dough, and there's pre-clean. Although the pre-clean function in the TM6 is more updated than the TM5. It has 5 different series of how dirty your bowl is, if you like. So you can do a quick clean, a universal clean, caramelized clean, and so on. And you choose which state your bowl is in for it to clean. And I think that is all that is in the previous models. The other functions are, like I said, a series of programmed steps that are sort of like a guided recipe within a mode. So just for instance, we'll talk about egg boiler. So egg boiler mode, that is a mode where you put your eggs into your TM bowl, you put a litre of water over the top, and you choose how you would like your eggs to be cooked. So it gives you a choice of soft, medium, medium hard, and hard. You just have to click which one you want, turn the dial to what you want, and press start, and it will just do it for you. So the Thermomix knows what temperature it is all the time. So it will know if you've taken your eggs out of the fridge, pop them straight into your Thermomix, it will know how long it needs to go before the water gets to the right temperature to cook the eggs. I hope that makes sense. So it's pretty clever technology. We'll talk about thicken mode next. That is a favourite of mine. So what that one does is, if you have a sauce or a custard or something that you want to thicken, weigh all your ingredients in. You've got a choice of thicken at 80 degrees or thicken at 100 degrees. The way we work this out is, if you have a sauce that has egg in it and it has no flour at all, you would choose 80 degrees for egg. Now, if it's got flour in it, even if it has egg as well, you would add 100 degrees. And then you just press start. Now, once again, your Thermomix knows how much is in the bowl, what the temperature is, and it will actually blend, mix, and stir and heat your ingredients up until they have thickened. Okay, so there's a whole lot more here. I'm not going to go into all of them because we'll be here for ages. Okay, so I have separated the sugar work and the high heat on this page. The reason why I've done this is because they can only be reached via a guided recipe. Now, there are loads of guided recipes that you can utilize these in, and I can show you how to get to them. I will do that at the end of this presentation. All right, so there's heaps more. Like I say, the sensor is new, the slicing and grating is new, and fermentation is awesome. You can make yogurt overnight while you're asleep in your Varoma. So yeah, brilliant. Okay, so let's have a look at Cookie Dough 3.0. So previous models had 2.0. Cookie Dough 3.0 is a little bit more updated. And what the differences is there are recipes in this one that you can't do with your TM5 because they might utilize high heat or sugar work or one of the modes, and your previous models didn't do modes. There's also a new feature that you can actually share your own recipes. So you can add your own recipes to the Cookie Dough platform. You can make them guided, and then you can share them with families and friends. Now, I've been doing this on my website. I've got 6, I think, so far that my husband has tested for me to make sure that they're easily read and you can follow the steps really easily. But you can send them straight to your TM6 and follow the bouncing ball. Then the other things that you can do is you can duplicate a Cookie Dough recipe and modify it to suit yourself and then save it in your collection. So, for instance, if you have someone in your family that has food allergies and you wanted to make, say, an ice cream and you wanted to leave out egg, or you wanted to replace a dairy with a plant-based item, then you can rewrite that recipe after duplicating it and save it so that you can use that one every time. The next thing is the Cookie Dough platform, the 3.0. They just keep adding more and more recipes. I've written down here 80,000 recipes to date, but I believe there's more than that now. Every couple of weeks, they add new recipes up, and they add them in the front of Cookie Dough. It's almost like a magazine. So there's inspiration for meals, meal planning, all sorts. The other thing that you can do, and it's something that I use every week, is I plan my meals, I do my shopping lists, and I order straight from Woolworths. This is a way that I do it so that I can save loads of money and loads of time. So that is pretty awesome for me when booking in. So first question here is, I've not been using my TM5 very much. Why would I get more use out of a TM6? I think the TM6 is a lot more user-friendly. It inspires you to cook more because it's easier to use. There are loads more recipes and much more choice because you now can caramelize onions before cooking something. But hopefully the rest of this presentation has shown you the other things that make the TM6 a sort of a leap ahead of the others. So inspiration, ease of use, guided recipes, modes, the unit's more user-friendly, and there's lots more features and it's fun to use. Okay, so the next question is, how much is Cookie Dough? So when you purchase a TM6, you actually get 6 months free Cookie Dough. Once you've finished your 6 months free subscription, you actually get to choose whether to keep going with it. It's $69 a year. In my eyes, it's a really worthwhile subscription. It's only, I think it works out just a couple of dollars a week. So for that recipe inspiration, being able to plan your menus, and for me, I do my shopping via it is well worth it. And like I said, it's a bit like a magazine as well that you can scroll through and read things. What's the next thing? Will this machine make food my children will eat? This is a funny one. I guess I guess what you have to do is work out what your children will eat. If your child doesn't eat Brussels sprouts, if you cook them in your Thermomix, they're still not going to like Brussels sprouts. However, I've created some recipes that people have thanked me for, things like chicken nuggets with vegetables hidden in them. If you choose the right vegetables, they don't even know they're there. Trust me, they're so good. I believe that, and getting your child involved as well. I have a 12-year-old grandson who's been cooking with me since he was about 6 years old. And he will actually eat more because he's helping me cook. And it's so easy for them to do with just, next, guided cooking. Okay, so when I purchased my TM5, my consultant didn't really help me much. What do you do to help? I'm a chef, pastry chef. If I resonate with you, then what I do is I have a online learning system. So I've actually dedicated an area called my inner circle, and I've added a whole stack of resources in there for you. So you can actually go in there anytime you like and learn. But don't think that replaces me. I work at 7 days a week, and I'm always around. So email, phone call, Zoom, anytime. If you have questions, I'm constantly answering people's questions for them. But my inner circle has things like videos, how-tos, ebooks, download templates, things like that. So it makes things much easier. And I think also having that resource there helps you get the most out of your Thermomix. Okay, so poaching eggs. I'm not going to go into that too much right now. I do another Zoom. I think that question may have come from someone who saw my poaching eggs on the stovetop in our Facebook group. But yes, you can make them in your Thermomix. I have a modes Zoom. It's called a brunch Zoom. If you want to look that one up and book into that, and I'll show you how to do that. Can you use high heat without a cookie dough subscription? Yes, you can. Your everyday cookbook has got a high heat recipe and a sugarwork recipe, and you can utilize them through that. I can show you how that works if you choose to purchase a TM6. Otherwise, you've got cookie dough, and there's stacks of different ideas in there. What are the benefits of a TM6? Hopefully this presentation has shown you about the benefits, and you want to learn more about modes, which is something that we've gone over. But I do modes demonstrations. So yeah, just have a look at my calendar and check that out. Okay, so my suggestion to you is, if I don't resonate with you as a consultant, choose someone that does. Ask them questions. Get the use out of your Thermomix. If you don't know how to use it or don't know that things exist, then you're missing out. So that's probably what I would like to say about that. All right, so let's move on to how the Thermomix works. This recipe is one of the popular dishes that's made in a home demonstration. The reason why it's chosen is because it showcases many of the features of the Thermomix. The first thing that we need to do when making this recipe is to create the curry paste, and it's a really simple step-by-step procedure. So we look up the tandoori paste and put it up on our Thermomix, and then it will tell us step by step what to put in the Thermomix, pressing the next button in between each step. There's a whole bunch of spices and some oil and some tomato paste going into this, and then we're going to blitz it. Now, this actually makes enough paste to make 3 batches of this chicken curry, but the tandoori paste can be used in many recipes, so it's really handy to have in the fridge. The way to preserve it is to put it in a clean jar and cover it with a little bit of oil to stop the oxygen from getting to it, and you'll be able to have it in the fridge for at least a month. With all the ingredients now in the bowl, the Thermomix is telling us to put the lid on and the MC, which is the measuring cup, in place. And then we press next. And as you can see, after pressing next, the Thermomix now is saying that we're going to go for 20 seconds, and it's telling us to turn the speed dial around to 9. Now it's already set for us, so all we have to do is turn the dial. Okay, so with that done, all we need to do is take the ingredients out of the bowl, put them in a sterilised jar and cover them with oil to preserve. But we're going to use 1/3 of this to go into our curry. That's looking good. That's our curry paste that we can put aside. Alright, so the next step is to get on with the curry. This recipe is found on Cookie Doo, and it's called Creamy Coconut Chicken Curry, and it's the TM6 version. So this one will be using high heat. Instead of making normal rice, we're going to make cauliflower rice with this one. So it's a bit of a healthier version, although you can make rice in your Thermomix. So the first thing we're going to do is chop our cauliflower florets into 4cm pieces and pop them in our Thermomix. Then we press next, and the Thermomix actually will tell you what time and speed to go to get your cauliflower to get it to a size that looks like rice. And it's going to go and reverse speed +5. So the Thermomix blades have got a sharp side and a blunt side. Having the Thermomix go in reverse, we'll be using the blunt side of the blades, and it will chop down the cauliflower so that it's the same size as rice. After pressing next, the next step is telling us to transfer the cauliflower rice into your varoma. That's the steaming part of your Thermomix. And you can see here that the cauliflower has been chopped down, so it's about the same size as rice. We're putting some little holes in the bottom of the bowl so that the steam can actually go through and cook our rice for us while our curry is cooking underneath. As we progress through the recipe, the Thermomix is just telling us what to do each time. So first we're putting in our ginger, then we're putting a clove of garlic. The next step is to put in some chili. Now the good thing about this is if you don't want chili, you can leave it out, or you can add more. It's totally up to you. Following the steps again, pop our lid on with our MC in place, and we're going to blitz this just for 3 seconds on speed 7. It's already there telling us what to do. All we need to do is turn the dial. After pressing next, we see that we have to have 200 grams of brown onions cut into wedges about 3 to 4 centimeters big, and then press next. Our Thermomix is going to chop them for us, so we don't have to worry about that. Once our onions are in, we chop them, and then we're going to put the splash guard over the top, and they're going to saute for 4.5 minutes. It's all worked out for you. All you need to do is turn that dial. Then coming back after 4.5 minutes, now it's telling us to put 90 grams of that tandoori paste that we made earlier to give it the flavour. And now we're going to continue on, add some water, some almond meal to create the sauce, and then we're going to add the 500 grams of boneless chicken thigh fillets, which we've put in, and some salt. Pretty easy to do. Pop the lid on, and then we put the varoma in place, which is the steaming basket that has the cauliflower rice in it, and then we press next, and it's going to cook 8 minutes on reverse speed +1, and all we need to do is press that dial again. After those 8 minutes are up, it's going to tell us to stir the cauliflower rice to make sure that it's cooking through. Pop that back on, and we're going to press next. Another 4 minutes. Varoma temperature, which is the steaming temperature, on speed 1, and the cauliflower rice is done. After this, we're going to put some coconut milk or coconut cream into our Thermomix bowl, cook it for 1 more minute just to get it nice and hot, and your dinner is ready. All we need to do now is plate up. I'm using an oval thermoserver. These thermoservers will actually keep your food warm for a really long time. It's double insulated, stainless steel, so I'm going to put the cauliflower down one end and the curry down the other. And I tell you, that's as good as any takeaway, probably better. I hope this presentation has helped you decide whether a Thermomix is right for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.